Hello, and welcome to another episode of singing sessions here at the Sing Together, Learn Together YouTube channel. My name is Krystal Diaz. I'm a singer, recording artist, and vocal coach, and my mission is to help you to become the singer that you've always wanted to be so that you can have the confidence to get your voice out into the world. So before we dive into today's episode, I'm going to make it really clear right off the bat that this is not a video about how to sing louder. But if you are looking for a technique that can really help your voice sound stronger, more focused and clearer, then do check out Singing Sessions episode 2, and I'll link to that in the box below. So in this episode, I want to share my thoughts on a common, you can say it's a misconception about singing that can so often lead to misunderstandings about vocal technique or undesirable singing habits, and even blocks in your ability to really see progress in your singing skills. So this episode is specifically for the singer who may be struggling with confidence or self-doubt about their voice, or singers who think they aren't good enough to be heard, or who are constantly comparing their voices to other singers that they admire. Now, if this sounds like you and you're holding yourself back just because you feel you can't belt out a power ballad just like, say, Whitney or Adele, or that you struggle with hitting really, really high notes like Sia or Mariah Carey, or you feel like you can't riff like Beyonce, then this message is for you too. And of course, if this sounds like someone you know, then I do hope that you'll share this video with them as well. So this idea that louder is better, I feel has really become more and more common with the rise in popularity of singing competitions. And I particularly see this happening in many of my younger preteen students who are already starting to equate like this idea of powerful singing as the ability to belt and be loud. So when you watch singing competitions, you'll notice that audiences, it's like they're waiting for the singer to hit the money notes, right? Money notes are usually the big, showy belt notes, or the super high, the high notes, or the crazy long sustains. And of course, these kinds of sounds tend to get the biggest applause or the biggest reaction from audiences and the most attention. And even if you look up the Vocal Coach Reaction video series, there's a lot of them out there, you'll notice that more often than not, vocal coaches are reacting to singers who are already doing a lot with their voices, or perhaps they're singers that are, already incredibly well trained and have a lot of great technique already. This makes a lot of sense though, because there's basically more to comment on, right? The more the singer is doing vocally, the more there is to talk about. So of course, this type of conversation can really be useful for someone who's interested in learning how to appreciate vocal technique, but kind of purely from an aesthetic point of view. But if you're a singer who wants to discover and develop your own personal style, and you want to be confident about your skills and proud of the qualities of your voice that are unique to you, then I think it's really important to not get super wrapped up in the mechanics of other singers' voices. And let me explain why. So if you're spending a lot of time comparing your voice to other singers, or perhaps you're spending a lot of time listening to what other people are saying about other singers, then I really, really hope that you're spending just as much time, or I should say even more time, purely just working on and listening to your own voice. Because if you're not putting in the hours to really understand and train your own voice, and you're mostly trying to learn by listening to how other people are singing, then what you're doing is subconsciously setting this standard by which to constantly compare yourself against. It's like you're telling yourself essentially that, okay, these are the qualities that people seem to react positively to. So that must mean I also have to sing like that in order to receive the same kind of praise. And really, really honestly speaking, that is not what singing is about. At least I don't believe that that's what singing is about. You really have to remember that there is no one else in this world who's going to sound exactly the way that you do. No one who has the same life experiences as you've had, and no one who's going to present a song in exactly the same way that you might choose to. So to me, vocal technique training is really about listening intentionally to your own voice and learning how to make adjustments to the way that you sing in order to bring out and strengthen the best and the most resonant parts of your instrument. And I promise you, yes, people really want to hear you. Now, I want to be clear about something. I am not saying that you shouldn't sing those money notes, or that singing with volume is a bad thing. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is that this type of singing typically gets the most attention, but it really shouldn't be the only interpretation of what it means to be a powerful singer. What I don't want is you to assume that, if other singers are singing in a way that maybe you're not able to right now, then it automatically means that you're not good enough to be heard. That is so not true. I think it's really important to remember that at the end of the day, it's not what the singer is doing vocally that really matters. I think what truly matters is how the singer is able to make their listeners feel. So if you decide that singing with volume really is your thing, and that belting your high notes is truly the way that you want to express yourself creatively and artistically to others, then that is great. But I highly encourage you to make sure that you learn to do it safely, and that you do it in a way that enhances your performance. But don't do it if there's a part of you that thinks that singing like that is the only way that will impress your listeners, because that is absolutely not true. I'm always an advocate of singing from a place of emotion and meaning first, and then using technique as a tool to support your choices. On the other hand, if this style of singing is not something that really vibes with you, or that really works in your voice right now, then that doesn't mean you can't be powerful in other ways. There are so many highly successful artists out there in the world who do not sing loudly, and whose style, doesn't involve belting out any kind of high or challenging notes. Now, these singers are incredibly powerful because they've embraced who they are as vocal artists, and they've defined their own style that works in alignment with the way that their voices naturally are. So in the blog post version of this episode, I've created a list of currently popular singers who I feel are really great examples of artists who fearlessly embrace their own voices without being loud or belty. So if you're interested in checking this list of artists out, then click on the link below in the description box. So I want to emphasize here that this doesn't mean that I'm saying you shouldn't be challenging yourself vocally, or that you shouldn't be setting goals for yourself to achieve. Of course you should be doing these things. What I'm saying is that the way to developing yourself artistically and creatively, I believe, begins by embracing your voice just the way that it is right now. And then when you practice vocal training exercises, you do it with the intention of discovering what your voice is actually naturally capable of doing. Don't think, oh, I need to be louder, or I need to hold my notes longer, I need to sing higher, I need to sing lower, or I need to have this quality in my voice or that quality in my voice in order, for people to like me or to be worthy of being heard. Believe me that this kind of thinking is really not going to serve you in the long run. And when you discover that you're actually capable right now, at this moment, of doing a lot more with your voice than you actually thought was possible, then that's when singing gets super exciting. And when you feel good about your voice and you're excited about your voice, you know that you're moving in the right direction. And you know what? Other people notice it. Other people feel that energy coming from you when you sing, and they'll want you to sing more. They'll ask you to sing more. So if you want to try out some vocal training exercises with this mindset approach of discovering your voice and embracing all the great things that you didn't even realize that you're already capable of doing, then check out my free resource in the comment box below. And of course, if you liked this video and found it helpful, please do me a favor and hit the like button so that I know to make more videos like this. And also, please subscribe if you want to stay up to date with the weekly tips and training videos that I will be putting out. Thank you so much, and I'll see you again soon.